County. This afternoon, we're hearing from Summer's father for the first time since her disappearance about what she was doing just before she went missing.
She was planting flowers with her mother and her grandmother, and she wanted to go into the house. So my wife watched her go into the door, and she went into the house, and the boys were on the internet, of course, and she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. So when her mother come in, she says, "Where's Summer?" She went down in the basement. She didn't answer, so she went down there, and she was gone. So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since.
Wow, the TBI says they have searched nearly 700 acres of the countryside near the family's home. 41 agencies are involved with the search for Summer, and they're using aircraft, canines, trained professional searchers, and dive teams. The TBI says they've received 85 tips in the case. Anyone with any information about Summer's location is urged to call.
Now, the TBI has issued a statewide Amber Alert for a missing 5-year-old in Hawkins County. The sheriff's office says Summer Wells was last seen walking away from her home on Ben Hill Road last night. Authorities say she was reportedly wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts and may be barefoot. Within the past hour, authorities did hold a news conference. They say the area where they're searching is proving difficult. It has dense trees and very little cell service.
It's very dense. The terrain is tremendously hard. We have virtually no cell phone service.
Volunteers have brought in balloons and flowers and are helping with meals for searchers. If you see that young girl, you're asked to call 911. You can find the latest details about that search online right now at WBI.
Yes, so our specialized teams, as I spoke on, the USAR, the dive teams, as both Sheriff Ray Lawson and Leslie spoke, we are pursuing every avenue. We're covering every ground cover, we're covering every aspect. At the end of it, if we don't cover it, we have to cover everything 100%. We're utilizing them just to clear waterways, areas that we can't put our normal people into, the canines, stuff that aerial cannot see that well. We want to get in there, flip every rock, check every crevice, check every spot, just to make sure we don't miss a spot.
Are there a lot of streams back in this area or ponds?
Yes.
Can you give us, I know we can kind of see some of the lush vegetation and what's happening in the sky, but what's it like back there for you all?
Yes, there are numerous streams and creeks that run back out of the mountains on both sides of Beach Creek Road, along with Beach Creek itself. And there are lots of ponds, holding spots for livestock and other things that we feel are just as important as the rest of the search efforts.
Sheriff, I have a question for you as far as the investigation goes. I know you probably can't comment on a whole lot, but are you able to say if you've executed any search warrants during this time?
Actually, we've done a tremendous amount of searches, and every one has been a consent search. The community has really stood out. They want to help, they want to give advice, they want to give information, and we've not had to obtain not one search warrant. And it due part that everybody in the community is wanting to find Summer.
And Leslie, I know you talked about credible tips. Can you kind of go into what is a credible tip?
If you have information about Summer, if you saw Summer the day she went missing, anything like that, if you captured a photo on a trail camera or surveillance camera, that's a credible tip. Anything that would assist us. Something you see on social media that you know is somebody's opinion or just speculation, that's not a credible tip. And in fact, that just bogs law enforcement down by having us, we have to go through and check that information and then mark it off. So please, credible tips, we welcome information, but just don't share speculation and rumors that you see on social media.
I have a question. I'm kind of reluctant to ask it, but is there a point in this search when you all will come to the conclusion that this is not a lost child anymore? This is possibly an abduction? Is there an amount of time or amount of territory?
Well, at this time, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance are very much under investigation. So currently, it's an active and ongoing investigation. We're not going to stop until we determine what happened to her, and we're just taking it one day at a time.
What has the interaction been like with the child's parents? I know that they've spoken with us on Adult Record about interactions with law enforcement, mentioning polygraph tests and so forth. Can you speak to us a little bit about the interaction with the parents and how they've helped or not helped with the investigation?
All I can say in that aspect is that they're currently cooperating.
When we also spoke with Mr. Wells, you mentioned some things being followed up on with sex offenders as well as people in this area who are on drugs. Can you confirm those details and what is happening?
I cannot. I can just tell you that any information we have, any lead that comes in, we're going to follow up on that, and all avenues are being explored.
How are crews feeling right now? Again, back to Captain Coop and Sheriff Lawson. How are they handling this right now, especially with we've kind of seen an increase in temperature outside?
So, as stated before, the outpouring of community and businesses in this area, they are very limited on the time. Once they get certain areas of covered, they are being required to come back to the command post and staging area to rehab. Plenty of water, Powerade, Gatorade, food, protein bars, stuff to keep them hydrated and nourished during this whole entire time. And as one stated before I left, they are also 100% involved. They said we will not stop.
As far as the law enforcement aspect, you know, we have the TBI assisting my office and the FBI, and it's a partnership and a joint operation where if somebody comes in with a tip, just whichever agent standing there, whichever officer, whether it's mine, one of the TBI or FBI agents, they jump on it. It doesn't matter who solves the case, whatever. We just want to find Summer. That's first and foremost.
One more question.
I actually have one last question regarding something that your father told us yesterday. He was saying that she would never leave their sort of hills where they live, and he highly believes that this is an abduction. Is there anything that you can say that maybe could point to that? He mentioned something about the canines going along a trail that runs dead. So is there anything that you guys have seen that proves this, or is there any sign that that may be true?
We're exploring all avenues. So at this time, We can't confirm that. However, in the event that we do develop that information and confirm it was an abduction and have information to share, you will be the first to know. And we want to reassure the community that we will let them know immediately. That's information that we would want to get out to the public as quickly as possible. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being here. We'll continue to update you as updates become available. Thank you.
Our world go around.
It's been 13 days since Candace Bly and Donald Wells last saw their 5-year-old daughter, Summer.
I'm just scared that somebody's hurting her, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it smothers me.
As the almost 2-week-long search through the rough terrain,
We really miss her very much. She was the angel, our blessing, the love of our life. She's what made our world go around.
it's been 13 days since Candace Bly and Donald Wells last saw their 5-year-old daughter, Summer.
I'm just scared that somebody's hurting her, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it smothers me.
As the almost 2-week-long search through the rough terrain scales back, Summer's parents say they believe someone took their daughter.
Personally, I think someone come up here and grabbed her and ran down the hill.
I think so
and
too.
threw her in a car and drove as far away as they could from this area.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here.
Around 6:30 in the evening on June 15th, her father called to report her missing, but he wasn't home yet from work.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers, and we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV, and I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back, and I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone.
Summer has 3 older brothers.
When they get out of line, she'd put them in line.
Her parents say she loves princesses, especially the movie Frozen, and to be outside.
She loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, Daddy, hold my hand so I can twirl. And she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl until my arm got tired.
She loved to play in the mud and the water and swing on her swing and enjoy dirt.
Now, authorities are looking for the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma that was in the area around the time Summer went missing, and stressing that this person is a potential witness.
I've never seen this truck, and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen.
No one has been named a suspect, and authorities have not ruled Summer's disappearance as an abduction. But tonight, her parents have one plea.
Please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go and where we can get her back.
Please bring her back home.
Just let her come home, please.
We miss her so much. Her brothers are so devastated that they wake up every morning crying for their sister. And as a mother, it really hurts to see your other children crying.
Conducted several search warrants and have collected any potential digital evidence, including with social media accounts.
Adding that they continue working alongside the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to find out what happened to the missing Hawkins County child.
This morning, the fate of Summer Wells still unknown.
Now, WJHL has led coverage as we've taken you across the community in the search for the missing 5-year-old. Ansley Daniel has a look at the timeline of events since Summer disappeared on June 15th.
Summer Wells is missing. She's 5 years old. She's 4 foot tall, blonde hair. Last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray pants.
That late night announcement launched a massive ground search at first light the next day.
With this steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing, as you see behind us, very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover.
Daily media briefings continued for 10 straight days. They ended on June 24th.
While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm.
2 days following the last of those press conferences, the TBI announced they were searching for a late model red Tacoma truck seen in the area around the time Summer went missing. Another 2 days after that, we heard from Summer's mother for the first time. Candace Bly's only daughter had been missing almost 2 weeks.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers, and I said okay.
The day we heard from the mother was the same day the reward fund was finalized. Authorities also closed the active search. In September, Summer was featured on In Pursuit with John Walsh, and the reward fund surpassed $40,000. On October 4th, Summer's father, Don, wanted to speak with News Channel 11. 111 days had passed since his daughter disappeared.
I just don't feel that that's right, that they're just going to give up on her in a couple more months.
That same day, the Churchill Rescue Squad's reward fund was extended into the following year. Almost a week later, on October 10th, the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said they were still taking tips and looking for that red truck.
Hi, this is Don and Candace Wells, and this is our YouTube channel.
Almost 4 months after their daughter was reported missing, Don and Candace Wells started a family YouTube channel and a website, findsummerwells.com.
We hope and pray to God that we can find our daughter. We can't thank you enough. There's nothing we can do to thank you all enough, but just to thank you and praise our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Social media stardom turned to a social embarrassment 2 weeks later. Don Wells was pulled over on a suspicion of DUI and arrested while live on YouTube. Wells was later charged with a probation violation and released on his own recognizance. In Rogersville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Bly will be speaking about their missing daughter in front of a national TV audience on the Dr. Phil Show. You can watch that right here on News Channel 11 at 4 o'clock. Another episode airs tomorrow as well. And after News Channel 11, we'll continue to take an in-depth look at the search for Summer. In-depth coverage continues through the evening, starting today at 5 o'clock, as we hear more from Don Wells on the problems in his first on-camera interview following his DUI in violation of probation charges, and since Dr. Phil was filmed.
Right now, the Amber Alert still active this morning for Summer Wells and will remain that way until she is found. If you have any credible information about where Summer could be, you are asked to submit tips and leads to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Is it possible that something happened to Summer that Candace knows about that's not her fault, but she is just nervous now and feeling bad about it?
Well, no, because she knows better. She would know to go directly to law enforcement. An accident's one thing. She would never do something like that. She knows better than that. I know it happens. It does happen with people, but no, she would go directly to law enforcement. She'd call an ambulance right away, number one, do anything. She would freak out. I mean,
could she have gotten herself into a situation where it wasn't her fault, but
no.
You know what I mean?
No. She's a good mother. She loves her children. She's not going to allow any situation like that. The biggest mistake she might have made is maybe choosing some wrong friends, which is, it happens. I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility.
Well, I'll see her in the resurrection. As long as I keep the commandments and I do what I'm supposed to do, I'll see her in the commandments, if that's the case,
My biggest fear is
you know, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something. Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a good chance she's already dead if you look at it statistically.
Do you know what happened to Summer? No. Do you know who took Summer?
These are tough questions.
No, I'm being interrogated again, and I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, I am.
We'll stop. I want you to feel comfortable.
No, I want out, and I want to go home.
I'm down.
I want
office.
And tonight he tells us what this investigation looks like right now.
Josh and Sarah, the case of Summer Wells does not look much different today than what it did when I first reported live on authorities searching out in Beach Creek back in June of last year. Now authorities are spending more time than ever before fielding through false tips as well as false hope.
It's sporadic. I mean, one day you might get 5 leads, the next couple of days you might not get anything. But it's been an active investigation that I've been devoted to since it first occurred.
As Summer's disappearance approaches the 10-month mark, the scenarios of what happened the night of June 15th continue to grow.
The wandering away, sneaking off to go play or whatever she may have done, that is a viable option.
The night she went missing, authorities said she walked away from her house. The following day, an Amber Alert was issued.
People are probably tired of hearing this. All possibilities are on the table. We're not completely eliminating the abduction idea, but there's nothing to lead us to believe that we need to focus on that alone.
In the height of the search, those on the ground combed through miles of tough, rugged terrain, leaving many to wonder how there was no trace of little Summer.
She was like 3 foot, 40 pounds. It would be a lot easier for her to get through some of the foliage. And she's lower to the ground, smaller body, a lot more flexible.
Along with the ground search, Pruitt says investigators have poured through data.
We have gone through reams and reams of data. We've collected statements. We've chased down every credible lead that has been given to us. And we are still not much further along than when we started. Surveillance videos, GPS locations, cell phone tracking, cell phone data, electronic data, anything that we could think of to get our hands on.
As time continues to pass since that June day, it's increasingly hard to hold on to hope.
Well, we're 9 months in. I would hope that she is still alive somewhere, but we also have to be open to the idea that is no longer a possibility.
News Channel 11 continues to work to find answers. Tonight, Ansley Daniels in the Beach Creek community with a timeline of June 15th, 2021, leading up to that night.
We've walked you through what has happened since Summer Wells disappeared the night of June 15th. But for the first time, we walk you through that day with her mother and grandmother from their perspective just hours before she was reported missing.
Candace and I got up that morning. She came out and took me into the ER because my leg was messing up on me.
The hospital is about 25 minutes from the Wells Beach Creek home in Kingsport.
She took me into the hospital, and I ended up getting a shot for it to get rid of the pain. And they prescribed me medication.
Summer, her mother, and grandmother spent the day in the closest city to their house.
Then we waited around for my prescription. Summer went swimming that day at the horse stables, I believe it was.
We were waiting on my mother's prescription from the drugstore at Walgreens on Fort Henry.
The three, along with a friend that Candace describes as a minor, then came swimming here at Warriors Path State Park. It's where the last known video of Summer was taken and then posted to TikTok.
We had to wait for Mom's prescription at Walgreens, so we just went up to Warriors. There was all kinds of trash everywhere at Warriors when we showed up. And I let Summer out to play. And we just stood there for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we all got back in the truck and went and got Mom's prescription, and I took him home, and then we came home.
And so then Summer came back here with you
later that afternoon, right?
Yes.
The trip from Warriors Path back to Ben Hill Road is just over 17 miles. But Bly couldn't recall how many hours that was before she reported her daughter missing.
About how many hours was that before she was reported missing?
You know, I really can't tell you all the time details because time gets away from you when you're trying to enjoy yourself.
The three then returned here to their home on Ben Hill Road. A neighbor says that she first heard Candace calling for Summer around 6 o'clock that night. Police say that she was reported missing around half an hour later, around 6:30.
Tonight we have exclusive Sky 5 video from the search site, and News Channel 5's Nick Barris tells us a shift in strategy now focuses on the possibility of foul play.
We flew over Summer Wells' home in Hawkins County in Sky 5 to see for ourselves what crews they're up against. After nearly 2 weeks, they found no trace of the little girl, and now the strategy moving forward has changed. This is an aerial view of the family's home on Ben Hill Road in Rogersville. Woods literally surround the home. It's very tough terrain, full of venomous snakes, briar patches, and an occasional bear. Plus, it's been very hot. Crews have spent long days the past 2 weeks doing line searches, as you see here in a field just across from the home. Others hit the woods using bloodhounds, but never finding the girl's scent. The only thing they have found is exhaustion.
I've had multiple of my guys come up to me and tell me, Captain, I'll go to the end, but I'm tired. I'm physically and I'm mentally tired.
So the incident commander says crews are scaling back search operations to focus on more specialized searches. This comes as more attention goes to the possibility that Summer was the victim of foul play. No one is giving up on the search.
We are all one team, and we will not quit until we find Summer Wells.
Summer was said to be planting flowers outside the home next to this camper when she went inside to play and then vanished. Was she abducted? We've learned there are more than 40 registered sex offenders living in the family's zip code, and the TBI now hopes to find the driver of a pickup seen in the area when Summer disappeared, a maroon or red Toyota Tacoma. The person, they say, is not a suspect, but a potential witness who may have heard or seen something that could help. Certainly any solid lead could help. I'm told with no trace of Summer found, it appears less and less likely that she just wandered off and more likely that she is the victim of foul play. No announced suspects at this time, but authorities consider everyone.
Home recently.
Yeah, Marnie, police have been to that house before, and they were back at the house on Wednesday. According to the police reports, someone called 911, said that they heard fighting coming from the Wells home. When the deputies arrived, they say that Candace Wells, Summer's mom, said that Don Wells, Summer's dad, had hit her, put his hands around her neck, and pushed her up against the wall. The deputy said they didn't see any bruises on Candace. She said that her thumb was broken, but they say they noticed her actually flick a cigarette with that thumb, and that she was able to put her shoe on with that thumb. So after sort of investigating at the scene, no arrests were made.
And Brian, we do know this isn't the first time that there have been fights at the Wells house. Police have been called other times. What are some of the other incidents that you're aware of?
Yeah, there's a lot of drama that's happened at that house, Marnie. It was interesting because when we were there talking to Don Wells, the vibe was sort of that they were trying to calm things down and turn a new leaf and stop drinking. But there have been incidents. They've been on podcasts late at night, yelling and screaming at each other with all sorts of noises in the background. So sadly, this latest issue really doesn't come as a surprise.
And all the while, Summer is still missing. Are there any updates, any active searches happening near that property or elsewhere that you are aware of?
That's the saddest part of this whole thing. There really are no new updates at this point, no searches that we know of. So hopefully someone will see something and call authorities in Tennessee soon.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of
We didn't want to give up on Summer, so we've always cooperated with the police, always. Trying to figure out what's going on, you know. Well, we've tried social media, and that was a complete train wreck. I've tried going out and searching what little bit I could by myself, but that's tough too. So no, I don't search anymore. I mean, I wouldn't know where to search. She could be anywhere in the world. We don't know. A lot of bad responses from people. They said, well, why are you coming here? Why don't you search down the road somewhere? Or, yeah, it got pretty sketchy going into some of them hollers and stuff and trying to ask people, you know, about have you seen our little girl or anything? They get real, people don't like it, you know. Yeah.
She was 5 when she went missing from her home in Hawkins County in 2021. This picture shows what they believe she could look like today. She's now 9. There are still no signs of Summer. The TBI says they hope that these age progression photos will lead to more information on where she could be.
As the investigation into a little girl last seen in Hawkins County. The last reported sighting of Summer Wells was in June of 2021 from her home on Ben Hill Road. Today, she would be almost 9 years old. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation confirms last week agents were working with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI, following up on a lead in Greenville on Van Hill Road. Agents will only say the investigation.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please keep praying for Summer, Moon, Utah Wells. Goodbye for now.